Welcome to History by AI, where we use artificial intelligence to tell you stories from the past. And today, we're going to talk about the Trojan War and the wooden horse, the greatest trick in history. In this episode, we're going to explore the story of the Trojan War and the wooden horse in detail. We're going to learn about the characters, events, and places that shaped this epic saga. We're going to see how the Greeks and the Trojans fought for glory and survival, how they faced challenges and dangers, how they experienced joy and sorrow, and how they ultimately met their destiny. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of History by AI. The Trojan War was a long and bloody conflict between the Greeks and the Trojans, who lived in the city of Troy in Asia Minor. The war started when Paris, a prince of Troy, kidnapped Helen, the beautiful wife of Menelaus, the king of Sparta. Menelaus and his brother Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, gathered a large army of Greek heroes and sailed to Troy to rescue Helen and punish Paris. The Greeks besieged Troy for 10 years, but they could not break through the high walls that protected the city. The Trojans also fought bravely and defended their home with courage and skill. Many famous warriors died on both sides, such as Achilles, the greatest of the Greeks, and Hector, the noblest of the Trojans. The war seemed to have no end, until Odysseus, the cleverest of the Greeks, came up with a cunning plan. He suggested that the Greeks should build a huge wooden horse and leave it outside the gates of Troy as a gift for the gods. He also said that they should pretend to sail away and abandon the war. In reality, they would hide some of their best soldiers inside the horse and wait for Trojans to take it into the city. The Greeks followed Odysseus' plan and built a magnificent wooden horse. They carved on its side an inscription that said, "For their return home, the Greeks dedicate their offering to Athena." Then they burned their tents and ships and sailed away to a nearby island. They left behind only one man, Sinon, who was supposed to trick the Trojans into accepting the horse. The Trojans were amazed when they saw that the Greeks had gone and that they had left behind such a strange and beautiful object. They came out of their walls and approached the horse with curiosity and wonder. Some of them wanted to destroy it or burn it, fearing that it was a trap. Others wanted to keep it as a trophy or a sign of divine favor. Sinon pretended to be a deserter who had escaped from the Greeks. He told the Trojans that he had been chosen as a sacrifice for Athena, but that he had managed to flee before they could kill him. He also told them that the horse was indeed an offering for Athena, but not for their return home. Rather, it was meant to appease her anger for destroying her temple in Troy. He said that if they took the horse into their city, they would gain her protection and win the war. But if they harmed it or left it outside, they would incur her wrath and doom themselves. The Trojans were persuaded by Sinon's words and decided to take the horse into their city. They celebrated their victory and thanked the gods for their deliverance. They dragged the horse through their gates with ropes and pulleys, ignoring the warnings of some wise people, such as Laocoon, a priest of Apollo, who said, "Beware of Greeks bearing gifts." They also ignored a strange omen. Two giant serpents came out of the sea and devoured Laocoon and his sons. That night, while the Trojans were sleeping or feasting, Sinon lit a signal fire to let the Greeks know that it was time to attack. The Greek soldiers who were hidden inside the horse came out quietly and opened the gates for their comrades who had returned from their hiding place. The Greeks entered Troy with their swords and torches and began to slaughter the unsuspecting Trojans. They set fire to their houses and temples and killed anyone who crossed their path. They finally reached the palace of Priam, the king of Troy, and killed him and his family. The Trojan horse was a brilliant but cruel trick that ended the war in favor of the Greeks. They captured Helen and took her back to Sparta with Menelaus. They also took many treasures and prisoners from Troy. They left behind only ruins and the story of the Trojan horse is one of the history's most famous examples of deception and betrayal. It shows how cunning can overcome strength and how pride can lead to downfall. It also shows how war can bring out both heroism and cruelty in human beings. I hope you enjoyed this episode of History by AI and learned something new and interesting. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment below and tell us what you think about this story and what other stories you would like us to cover in the future. Thank you, and bye for now.